Let's say hello to Hannah Harley, who is with us this morning to discuss a really, really cool sounding program. And she brought Jeff Rakes along with her. Good morning to both of you.
Well, good morning. Yeah, thank you so much for having us. We're so excited about this project, and we're so pumped to share it with the community.
Yeah. Hi, Jeff.
Good morning, Todd.
There you go. That's all we're going to talk to Jeff. We don't care. Hannah, this is wonderful. This is an arts residency program.
Mm-hmm, that's correct.
Okay. How did the concept come to be? And how do you put it in motion?
Yeah, well, it's already in motion. We're working on it. I kind of thought of this project because, you know, I'm an Indiana native and I've loved this community. And when I went away for school, I saw that coming back, Indiana has all of these resources that so many of my friends are, you know, trying to find. So many artists are looking for space and time to work on their art. And Indiana has just this thriving arts community that I was thinking would be perfect to bring in these artists to come and live and work, and work on their art and see this beautiful community.
So you called it?
The Spruce, yeah. So it's called the Spruce Art Residency, and I called it that after Indiana being this, the Christmas tree capital of the world, which I think is a wonderful designation and also just a wonderful legacy that we're working on as well.
It fits.
It fits. It fits.
It really fits. I have to compliment you on the photo on the website.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
You've never seen Indiana from that angle before.
Yeah, I got it very early to get that angle, and I wanted, and then it had this nice mist. And
did you drone it?
I did. I've been taking pictures and thinking of what would look beautiful. How can we promote Indiana? And so it's made me look at all of these beautiful buildings in a totally new light. Yeah. When you've been living around them for your whole life, you kind of take advantage of how beautiful this town actually is because you're just used to it. And then all of a sudden thinking about how someone from Japan would look at our town and want to be here has made me change how we're actually photographing it and sharing it.
So one of those buildings is the Indiana Theater Building downtown.
Yeah.
And that's a key part of the Spruce.
Yes. So the Indiana Theater Building has had a steady stream of artists that live and work there that have studios. The Indiana Arts Council is there. And so that was kind of the natural movement to go into that space because they have available studios that we could work with. So that's a key part, and I think having it so it's walkable, because you get a lot of artists that are coming from New York or they're coming from Finland and they're not going to rent a car. So that's been an important part, that they can walk from their apartment to their studio.
Yeah. And so you set up the residency so that they actually, you offer them a living space, you offer them a studio in which to be able to create whatever it is that is their medium.
Yeah.
And you give them the opportunity. Well, you just open up a world of opportunities for them, don't you?
Yeah. We have so many different things that they can then do. We're working on these things, these different events and workshops, exhibitions. So once you bring them in, how do we get the work out as well? So the primary two things are the apartment and the studio, that they can kind of disconnect from all of the distractions of daily life and really focus on their artwork, and also explore Indiana. And they can walk through Philadelphia Street and find everything they would need. So
there's every inspiration here in downtown Indiana, isn't
Absolutely.
there?
Absolutely.
It's pretty amazing. So explain how it works. Where do the artists come from? What types of arts are they involved in? And what's the residency all about?
So they come from all over, which has been really exciting. We kind of put out the call, and we're, who's going to apply. And we have artists coming from Finland, Japan, South Korea, Texas, Georgia, Pittsburgh. So it's been interesting to see who's applying and why. Because some people, they want to work with the coal in the region, or they want to do a visual art series on industry. Or there's a lot of different ideas happening in different places that they're coming from, but primarily, these are visual artists. We're looking to move and also enjoy the company of musicians and writers and have all sorts of different arts involved, so that they're having a really whole conversation about art. But right now it's primarily visual artists, and they're everything from painting, photography to, installation and land art. And there's all sorts of different visual arts that are coming together through this.
So do we think of it in terms of they're coming for a specific time period in order to be here through X date to X date, and then someone else is coming in? Or how does that manage?
So we've given it a little bit more flexibility so that more established artists can come as well. So an emerging artist, like a new MFA grad from, at 24 can come and, maybe give us 2 months. But someone who's been a living and working artist at 45 might only have 2 weeks. So we offer it at various times. And then the idea is we kind of have this ongoing rotation. So in August, we're going to be hosting 9 artists. One is for a week. 2 are for a month. There's the rest of them are 2 weeks at different times. So they overlap with each other. And so their ideas can kind of collaborate as well. But that idea is that they can just make a community within themselves and also within the community and kind of flow through.
And once they have come here and they've spent all this time here and they've sort of assimilated the culture and worked on their art, you give them the opportunity for a show, an exhibit or two.
Yes, so they have an opportunity to have an exhibition. We have exhibition space in the theater building that we're going to be using primarily for those. But one of the things we're really looking for is how can we then make this a more community-based exhibition process. And we have the room now, but how wonderful would it be if some of these, spots on Main Street that are vacant right now, we put art up in the walls. We have an exhibition that opens up one night and, all of a sudden, we start filling up downtown Indiana empty spaces with art.
Yeah.
So.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're still working on all of everything we need to be working on, but they're exciting conversations that we get to have. And, how can we maybe do an installation in Blairsville, or we find make public art in a park. So. Yeah.
So when you thought of this and you dreamed this, it's not something that just Hannah Harley says, we ought to do this, and it happened. I would assume that you brought in others to help you in order to formulate how this would work, how to set it up, what are the various mechanisms that need to fall in place. Who were some of those folks?
Well, yeah, it has been a full community effort. Everyone I've talked to has been so helpful in getting me the next step and the next person that's going to help. And it's been this whole scaffolding process of, let's keep adding to it. And so many people have gotten involved. It feels tough to list them all here because they have all been so helpful. But I really, Jeff Rakes obviously has been incredibly helpful with the county planning office and just helping me think of the key players that are going to be in this program. Brian Jones at Artist Hand Gallery has been just such a champion, and and I'm like, things are a little trickier. I'm paperwork, and he just is always there cheering us on. And the Indiana Arts Council as well has been very excited, and Dave Ferguson, and we've been having this kind of community within a community to help support this idea and really grow it from the ground up. And I'm just trying to figure this out as well. And so they've been very helpful in giving me advice and kind of nurturing this idea to be a full-fledged program.
I did just say hello to the guy, but I do want to, ask him a question while he's here. As long as you're here, Jeff, we might as well ask you a question.
Go ahead, John. I'm ready. I'm prepared. I was up all night.
Okay. Well, that question just has to do with when you heard about this,
yes,
and you recognized what it was and what a great opportunity it is, not only for them but for Indiana. What's your reaction?
Well, it was neat to sit here and listen to Hannah talk about the idea because, and watch it sort of resonate with you, right? Because the idea is pretty exciting. And so what we're trying to do is just give it some legs. As a resident, I'm very excited about the idea. I'd love to have art and artists in our community and make them real and get other people excited about art. But as a planner, if I put my planner hat on, what we're seeing in planning, and this is what people are talking about at our conferences and things, is how to use art as a place-making tool, right? So one of the things that makes places special often is art. And so how can we use art and artists locally to transform some of our places here, or spaces here, into places? So, yeah.
It sounds like it's something that not only you but the entire community has embraced.
I think so. I think so, and I think it'll be fun to get the kids involved. I've got 3 at home that I'd like them to grow into an appreciation for art and not think about it as hoity-toity, like something for other people. It's for them, and the experience is all your own. And I think that's what's exciting and fun about art, and just kind of breaking down some of those barriers.
Yeah.
And Hannah and I have talked about that. So I'm hoping this project and program will do that for some of the folks in the communities.
Yeah, Hannah, it seems to me like it's a logical next step for Indiana. When we have heard for all these years about how thriving the arts community is, this just seems like the next step in a process.
Yeah, I think that a lot of the organizations have laid the groundwork to make things like this possible, and without those organizations, these ideas wouldn't actually come to fruition. And bringing in the community in a way that they're already looking at art, they're already a part of this arts community, and so bringing in artists that can appreciate that and can engage with that, and also, I think definitely we're working on bringing in students and having workshops, and there's so many things that we can do because there's an existing thriving arts community.
Where are we going to learn more about it? And obviously, where do you see the program going within 2 or 3 years?
Yeah, definitely we have a website, sprucearts.com. We'll keep that up to date, but we're going to be continually working on new projects with the artists. The 2 to 3 year plan, just continue this process. If we're bringing in even 5 artists a month, that really starts to hit Indiana in a different way. And right now our first month there's going to be 9 artists in town. So as we move forward, we'll see how it can really grow. And I think it can grow beyond the ideas that I have here. So definitely inviting more people in to kind of grow it in the way that they want. And maybe that's programming at high schools, or, artist talks at senior centers, or however it needs to grow and can grow. I think that they're bringing in the artists and having them be excited about this community is the way that actually happens.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, you'll let us know when we can help by getting someone on the air, by publicizing an event or anything, right?
Absolutely, yes. Terrific. Thank you so much.
Terrific. SpruceArts.com? Mm-hmm. Okay, there you go. We went right up to the marker. Fox News is next moments from now. It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS AM 1160, 101.1 FM.